Welcome to SveNFL.
What's up, y'all?
It's Jonathan Rollins.
And Schif Masara.
And we're two Americans living in Sweden talking about
playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
That's my new favorite thing.
Why is that always funny? Like, I feel like he's so...
What's funny? You mean
playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Some of the things on are not, I'm not to pat ourselves on our backs too much,
Right.
but a lot of our soundboards just hilarious, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Even the new edition stuff like when you hear stuff like that, sometimes it's just like, that's just funny, no matter what. The grapefruit is always good.
I know. There's so many bulldogs out there. So many reasons to hit that grapefruit.
Well, what's up, man? We're going into the divisional round. Shit's getting real.
Actually, so for those of you who have listened to us for a while, you realize that we have rebranded all of the rounds of the playoffs, right? So last week was Super Wild Card Weekend, which, you're going to go to next week and just call it the Divisional Round?
What was I thinking? No.
No. You're going to call it the Deliciously Delightful Divisional Round. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to call it. I mean, if we're going to rebrand, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, you got to keep at it. Each round needs to sound cooler than the one that came before it.
Yeah, you can't just start with Super Wild Card Weekend.
Yeah. And especially, how dumb is it that they go Super Wild
Instead
Card
of
Weekend?
Wacky. Wacky is right there for you. Wacky is just dangling like a fucking mistletoe.
Exactly. Come on, guys.
Come on.
You basically just borrowed Super from Super Bowl and threw it on Wild Card Weekend. It doesn't belong there.
And we're supposed to just let that slide, man?
You're just cutting Super Bowl off at the knees with that. It's like, come on.
Come on, son.
Yeah, so we're going to have the deliciously delightful divisional round coming up.
Correct. But before we do that, we're going to have a little bit of news. Patriots announced that they hired Gerard Mayo to replace Bill Belichick as our new head coach. Mayo!
I didn't know he was such a top candidate. My friend is a Patriots fan, and he was saying it's either going to be Mayo or Vrabel, but he thinks Mayo. And I was like, damn, I didn't even know Gerard Mayo had so much pull. I remember when he was a player. Apparently, he worked his way on up.
Well, the fascinating thing about this story is that, so he got a contract extension about a year or so ago, and it sort of went quietly overlooked that written into his contract, it literally said in his contract, if Bill Belichick were to retire, Gerard Mayo is going to be our next head coach.
Oh, wow.
They had created a succession plan in Gerard Mayo's contract, which meant that the Patriots did not have to comply with the Rooney Rule, which doesn't matter.
What? He's black.
I know. But had he not been black,
okay,
they still would have been able to get away with it, which only tells you how
You are not serious people.
correct. And speaking of, have you heard his opening press conference? It's pretty amazing, actually.
No, I haven't. I would have grabbed it for this.
Gerard Mayo is black, as we mentioned. And Robert Kraft is clearly rich white guy who
Relaxed.
To be fair, is like, interested in being an ally and whatnot, that kind of thing. His heart at least seems to be in the right place with that kind of stuff. He's not.
So he has a heart on.
Yeah, he has his heart on. No, but the fascinating thing that happened in the press conference was that, it came up that, okay, well, this is the first black coach hired in New England. And there was a lot of implied language about how on the Boston sports scene, there's a lot of racism involved, which is true. And Robert Kraft's response was, we're very proud of the fact that we hired a black head coach. However, I don't see color. I don't see color. And then literally like a minute later, they asked Gerard Mayo a question about the same thing, and he said, well, I do see color because I think that if you don't see color, you can't see racism. And he says that standing right next to Robert Kraft.
Oh, wow.
Which was very interesting. I mean, you should go see it. His opening press conference was,
I got a little bit of a clip here if I should play it.
His
should I play a clip of him or
we can skip it if we can post it or something like that because
all right. Oh yeah, that's
in all honesty, if you're not a racist douchebag from Boston, I would feel really excited about my new head coach because he said a lot of other.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
He just said a lot of other really interesting things about, I don't want to run this thing like we're in an echo chamber. I want to be inclusive and all these things. So he was essentially criticizing the Patriot way without criticizing Bill Belichick. He was basically just saying, like, I want to do things differently here. Like, let's try to modernize this thing a little bit and admit that there might be other people in the building who know what they're talking about.
Oh, I like that. I think that when it comes to like race and stuff like that, well-meaning people, they want to get past it a lot and act like it's a thing of the past, and they get uncomfortable when you acknowledge the existence. That
you're still in it.
There. Yeah, we're still in it.
You want to go past it? It's still in it.
It's there. Like you can go past it. If we don't, since we're not actually past it, I got to deal with this shit. So, Mr. Ally, you're really kind of turning your back on me without even thinking about it. So I like that. That he's just like we need to still see it and then improve it and admit also that it has improved, but that there's still work to do. And as an ally, you can help me and help people see. And the fans, and they're not going to want to hear it. Some people are not going to want to hear that shit because they want to be like, but we had a black president. It's over. It's done with.
Yeah.
We wrote end racism, stop racism in the end zone.
I know.
It's over. Yeah. So kudos to them, man. I was like, there's no fucking way. That's what I said. I was like, there's no way. When I heard Gerard May, I was like, there's no way they're going to have that guy. They might be just throwing it out there. I was even thinking they're gonna, Rooney Rule, blah blah blah, and I like that, man. They're just like, this is our next. I think more teams should have succession plans too. It's just they're ahead of the game, man. It's annoying because it's a rival team for me, but they're ahead of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, it's gonna suck for you. And they have don't they have the number 2 pick in the draft too? That's gonna suck.
I mean, I don't think he's gonna be a good coach as Belichick, so they're gonna have to be patient.
Yeah.
They're going to have to be very patient over there, and that's not what
Boston sports fans are pretty patient.
Well, this echo chamber's not really working, is it? It's the echo chamber.
There's something wrong with this coach. If I could just put my finger on it, I can't tell what I don't like about him.
I don't know why I have less patience for him than I had for other coaches.
Something about the way he looks.
Yeah, man. Can we just hire Larry Bird?
Can you imagine they hire Larry Bird to coach the Patriots? That'd be hilarious. Oh my God. Okay. New Orleans Saints have parted ways with their longtime offensive coordinator, Pete Carmichael, as well as 2 other assistant coaches. To me, that indicates Dennis Allen, you're next.
You next. You on deck.
You next. Obviously, they did not fire Dennis Allen.
Of course not.
But he is an immediate hot seat candidate for next year.
Who did 100%. You have before? You got Mike McCarthy.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we'll talk about him in a minute.
Hottest seat.
Well, we can talk about him now. I mean, there was a lot of speculation that he was going to lose his job after losing in the super wild card, which we should just start calling it the wacky wild card weekend.
That's what we're calling it. They'll catch on.
I was of the opinion that he would 100% lose his job. I think I even said it in those terms in the last episode. Stephen A. Smith on ESPN just went absolutely ballistic when they announced that McCarthy he's a Cowboys hater. So
yeah.
But he has a point though. I mean, it's a little. I mean, I get there's 2 sides to this, right? Mike McCarthy has. I mean, the Cowboys have won at least 12 games for the last 2 or 3 years.
It's hard
Right?
to win it all, though.
Yeah, and then
It's just a fact.
and then you can't get them over the hump in the playoffs, and so I guess I can understand the patience to a certain degree, but at the same time, I'm a little shocked that McCarthy still has his job, but he will 100% lose his job next year if they don't win a playoff game.
Some years, some years it's just not the year to change coaches. Like some years, there's no good candidates out there. That's not this year, but some years.
Right.
This year's the most juicy pool of candidates that's been out that I can remember.
Oh, 100. Yeah, for sure.
You got like taking a risk on a first time coach. This is the year to possibly do that with a couple candidates out there, like what's his name, McDonald over in Baltimore. You got Ben Johnson over in Detroit, and then you got coaches coming from college. You know what I mean? With Harbaugh's out there, who's been a proven coach, been to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Man, you got
Belichick,
Brandon Staley.
you got Vrabel,
you got Belichick, Vrabel, Brandon Staley. Huh? No,
Cliff Kingsbury, I saw this morning, is out here interviewing for an offensive coordinator job with the Bears. How about that?
Coordinator job. Okay, good. Let him coordinate.
So he can be back in our lives.
Brian Flores is out there. If anybody's willing to take a risk on a coach that showed he could coach, but might be tough.
Another assistant, an offensive coordinator who's currently available because the Browns have fired their coordinator, Alex Van Pelt.
Couldn't unlock Deshaun Watson.
I feel like this guy will get a job for sure because it's like I think it's a little weird to fire this guy because of the Deshaun Watson thing.
They should fire the GM.
They were in a whole heap of trouble for next year with the cap situation and all that kind of stuff. If the Browns cannot afford to fail next year, so that's going to be a tricky situation. Bill Belichick, not only has he interviewed, which obviously everyone joked about, are these teams interviewing Bill Belichick or is Bill Belichick interviewing them? He has interviewed for the Atlanta Falcons head coach position. And as of yesterday, they have announced that they are having a second interview this weekend.
Okay, nice.
So this is getting kind of close.
How you feel, man?
I'm not going to lie. I have mixed feelings. Is he an upgrade from Arthur Smith?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I thought you were asking.
No, I was being rhetorical.
I'm sorry.
But you answered my inner thought. The thing that I'm a little concerned about is the amount. Well, I'm concerned. I'm assuming the level of control that Bill Belichick wants over the team is obviously something that became problematic for the Patriots over time. It's gonna be really weird. You bring someone like him into the building, and it's like it gets a little tricky when you have somebody who can't be wrong. Like you can't tell him you're wrong. You know what I mean? He has so much success that it's impossible to tell him you're wrong. Yeah. And what if he's wrong? And he's traditionally not been super great at drafting people. Right. He's been very good in the free agency department throughout his career, but traditionally his draft, his draft picks are not something that people really celebrate. I mean, the Brady thing, I don't think he gets credit for that. That's an accident. No. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's like saying Shanahan gets credit for drafting Purdy. It's like, give me a fucking break. You didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, but I think it could possibly throw off the whole dynamic, like of what he does if he's not the GM. He's got to have somebody who he probably thinks he can do the job better than him, doing the job and like bringing him players. And he's like, and then if it doesn't work, I was like, I told you this guy's footwork is off, and you took him anyway.
There is a rumor that he could bring in some of his own trusted guys like Scott Pioli, who
Yeah, I know that.
who he used to work with. Scott Pioli used to actually work for the Falcons, but he also worked with the Patriots during those Brady years. And Pioli was with the Falcons when we were good, like the early Matt Ryan years when we went to the Super Bowl and all that kind of stuff. So I think you have someone like that who's running the business side.
Yeah, but it's the scouting that's the issue. That's been what they're saying. Like contracts and all of that shit. Yeah, somebody else is definitely going to do that. But bringing the players in, if you're used to being the one who says, I got this guy because he's going to do this that I want to do this year. I want to try this thing and this thing. I need this type of player. Then, and they take that away from you, and it's just like handicapping you a little bit. You got to hope they bring in somebody that might fit. And you got this idea of like this 3-4 scheme might need this outside linebacker, blah, blah, blah.
What's really interesting about this is actually the ripple effect. When you just think of the idea of Belichick becoming the coach of the Atlanta Falcons, there's a number of things that I hadn't even really considered until they started to pop up. Now, obviously, the Falcons are in a position where they don't just need a coach, they need a quarterback.
Yeah.
The defense played pretty well this year. They've got great offensive pieces, but they need that quarterback. And do we take him in the draft? Do we do a trade? These kind of things. And, you know, the presumptive narrative is that they might try to make a move to get Justin Fields in the building. But this morning I woke up and I saw a headline. It was an interview with Kirk Cousins who said, you're asking me, like, I absolutely would not pass up the opportunity to work with the greatest coach in NFL history. Like, all of a sudden, Belichick's in the building, and Kirk Cousins, who seems like he's going to stay in Minnesota, he's a free agent. I mean, it seems like a done deal. Kurt's staying in Minnesota, but all of a sudden, Belichick winds up in Atlanta, and it's like Kurt's like, no. I'm going over there.
You like that? You like that?
And that thought had never crossed my mind until I saw that headline in this book.
Really? Oh, that's what I was thinking. People want to play for this guy.
Well, I just thought I hadn't thought specifically of Kirk Cousins. Like Kirk Cousins, he's in Minnesota. He's comfortable. He's got a good team there. He's got great receivers. I mean, that Minnesota would have had a completely different year had he not busted his Achilles. Yeah. And now all of a sudden the sliding doors start to kind of open and close over here, and it's like, holy shit! In a single offseason, the Falcons might have Bill Belichick as their head coach and Kirk Cousins as their quarterback. Like, what the hell is happening? I don't know what I would think.
And they got a defense. They have a defense in place pretty much.
It's crazy.
It's going to be a magnet for some talent.
100%.
And it's probably your cap situation is probably going to be taken care of all the time as well too. Because he's not going to be overpaying for people. That's for sure.
No.
And he's going to maximize the talent. I think.
I would think so too.
At least on defense. At least on defense, you maximize talent. You mess around and get a good quarterback, you guys are winning that division. You might as well put your bet in now.
Yeah.
If he gets there. He's made it to the second interview, which he would. You know, it's up to him. Like, do you want to come to the second interview? Yo, man, you might have Bill Belichick. Billy B.
It's a little weird. It's a little weird.
The hooded genius.
We hinted at this story in the last episode. You kind of joked about how the reason why they played that Chiefs-Dolphins games was because of the Taylor Swift fans, you know, playing. The reason why they kept playing that game, even though it was like the fourth coldest game in NFL history. Yeah. But then the day after the game, out pops this news report that 15 fans who were in attendance in that game were forced to go to the hospital with either hypothermia or frostbite.
There were players that have frostbite. Dolphins players have frostbite.
I mean, that's crazy.
Why would they do? It's like, I didn't even think about the frostbite, hypothermia. I was more thinking about, like, it just sucks to be out there. But then it's like, oh yeah, it's actually dangerous for the human body. I saw some idiot Dolphins fan with no shirt on with body paint. And I was like, I hope you're from there. You know what I'm saying? I hope you're from a cold climate. Right. But to shock your body like that, that adrenaline is going to wear off. And it's not a good idea. Like, it's not a good idea to have fans out there, have people out there.
And the beer doesn't help. It just only makes you colder. That was crazy, actually. Some of the
they
pictures.
Drink beer at the games?
Bruh.
I didn't even think about doing that when I go to games.
The social media images that were coming out from that game where you had people who like they opened their beer and within seconds it froze.
Oh, wow.
Like they couldn't even drink the beer.
Wow.
It was nuts.
The things we do.
Yeah.
For our teams.
Speaking of the things we do, Colts owner Jim Irsay.
Oh, wow. Love him.
Fuck that guy.
Well, he was reportedly found unresponsive
Oh, no.
in his home last month. Initially, they reported this as some sort of a respiratory illness.
We know what that was.
But then over the last week, the police reports, I guess, have started to come out, and it appears that it's a suspected overdose.
Of course it's an overdose.
This
That's
is a guy
suspicious.
who has been in and out of rehab many times before.
Yeah.
This is also a guy who tried to spend $20 million to save a whale instead of paying Jonathan Taylor. Maybe drugs were involved in that decision-making process. Not sure. The whale died, for the record.
Damn.
And the day after the whale died, he decided to pay Jonathan Taylor. He was like, well, I guess
What a
I
surprise.
guess I have $20 million.
That's suspicious.
Hey, I got one. I forgot to tell you about a new addition to the soundboard that you're gonna really appreciate.
Okay.
It's on our Silver Hender, but I got access to it here. But I added it to it, and it's our boy Denzel Washington. He's always got good stuff to say.
I'm leaving here with something.
Did you hear it?
No.
I'm leaving here with something.
It's so...
I'm from
Why
round
is
the
it
way.
so low?
I'm leaving with something.
He can't.
I'm from round the way. I'm leaving with something.
I'm
never
from
said-
around the way. I'm leaving with something.
I love
I'm
that.
leaving here with something.
I'm leaving here with something. So, he talk about when he was at an award show and they and he didn't win and they had food there and he took
Right.
like a plate with him home. And he was talking to Jamie Foxx and he was like, I'm leaving it with something. I ain't winning the award. I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something. I don't know. Sorry to get off that stuff.
That's the news for the most part. I figure we could...
I hope I want to clear it up that I did not know the Jim Irsay story. I'm not celebrating him and his apparent overdose. When I put the fuck that guy, I didn't know the story. I thought he did some racist or some stupid shit again.
Well, that's,
But if I knew it was that, I wouldn't have put that. So.
he, to be fair, he usually when we talk about Jim Irsay, it's about him doing something really stupid, opening his mouth and, doing something stupid. And to be fair, this drug addiction part of who he is might be a big part of why he is so annoying. I find him annoying. I find him an annoyance.
Yeah.
He's one of the more annoying owners in the National Football League.
Yeah.
And to me, this is one of those things, and I think you brought this up before. It's like, man, I wish there was a test of some kind to be an owner. And in this case, it's like, in my opinion, Jim Irsay would fail that test. And after having failed that test, you would quickly identify, well, he failed the test because this man needs help.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he needs help. He needs to sort out his shit, and maybe he could come back and be a better person and a better owner than he is currently. Because I don't consider him one of the better owners in the NFL. I think he's like, from an owner's perspective, I think he's kind of a piece of shit. And you can have empathy for his drug addiction and also call it like you see it at the same time, in my opinion.
I got a pretty serious question for you, if you're ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
Before we get to our... Hello, Schif. I was wondering, how Is Jim Irsay's overdose Kyle Shanahan's fault? Tell us, Skip.
Well, okay, look, here's the thing. We don't know where Jim Irsay got the drugs. Right? Is Kyle Shanahan a drug dealer? I've never heard him say no to that question. So until he comes out and addresses this directly, I have to assume that there's at least a percentage chance that Kyle Shanahan might be Jim Irsay's drug dealer.
Hey, I got nothing more to say to that. Skip has spoken. It's a possibility it's Kyle Shanahan's fault.
This is how conspiracy theories get started. It's just like...
You never said no. He did not say no, man.
I've never heard him say no. Is he dodging the question? Why is nobody asking him the right question? No one asks Kyle Shanahan the hard questions. Are you Jim Irsay's drug dealer?
How is not a no not a yes?
Exactly. That's precisely. I like this.
There are known knowns and known unknowns. But there are also unknown knowns. But we got to think about the unknown unknowns.
Exactly.
That's Rumsfeldology.
That was one of the most confusing moments of my young adult life. I remember sitting there watching that press conference.
And you were probably smoking weed, right? At the time. Like,
I'm pretty sure I was. Those were my weed smoking days. Heavier weed smoking days for sure.
Bro, no. Like if he said it and if you alter his voice a little bit, like he's got to sound like a pothead. If you take that and slow it down like 0.3.
Oh, bro. Do you know I do that to our podcast sometimes?
Oh, we've done that with
like if I go back and listen to it, sometimes I'll listen to it in slow mo, and I'm like,
drunk. We sound drunk.
We sound wasted. It's even funnier, I think.
Yeah.
But I remember that Rumsfeld thing because I do this thing sometimes when I hear somebody say something on television. I'll be like, wait, what? And I'll rewind it, and I have to write it down. And I remember writing that whole sequence down. And after writing it down, thinking, I'm still confused. I still don't get it. I'm still, hold on a second.
No unknowns.
I was like, I think I know. No, I don't. You know what? It's bullshit. It's word salad. He doesn't.
It's word salad of nothing.
It's word salad. It's word salad. That's what it is.
That's great. Imagine that too, being him, and they're like sending you out there to make this. You know, you gotta. Hey, this is what it is. This is the talking point. You got to do it. He's like, shit. How am I gonna? Okay, I got it. I'm gonna pull out the old known unknowns that I did in my college thesis.
The one that I got an F on because my professor was like, "This makes no sense."
Fuck out of here. Yeah, I whipped that out. That's all I could do. All right, you ready to get to these games? Are we flipping and picking?
I kind of want to ask a few questions about these games before we actually pick them.
Okay, I like this.
Because when I think about the first game, the Texans versus the Ravens, I mean, you've got CJ Stroud with such an impressive, not just him, it was Stroud, but it was also the defense. Such an impressive performance against the Cleveland Browns. The Ravens are obviously rolling in rested. Some of the starters haven't played in 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. Are you concerned about their ability to handle their business? Is probably my biggest question.
Oh, no, well, my quick answer to that is no. I'm not concerned about them at all, man.
You're not concerned at all?
No.
Yeah. I mean, Lamar Jackson.
But it is an unknown.
It is, for sure. I mean, I would say I'm a little concerned mostly because of the defense.
Whose defense?
Well, the Texans defense is a very good run defense. I think they're in the top of the league as far as stopping the run. That being said, Joe Flacco ain't Lamar Jackson.
He's the opposite.
They are kind of polar opposites when you think about it.
This guy, I think if they had a better pass rush, I'd be more concerned. But if you're going to have Lamar Jackson standing in the pocket, The way he's playing now.
You know, they played each other early in the season, and the Ravens won, but the defense played really, really well. They sacked him a couple of times. They picked Lamar
they pulled
off.
away in the end, though, right?
They did pull away in the end, but they played him hard. They stuffed the run. They picked off Lamar. They got 3 or 4 sacks.
Let's not forget at the beginning of the season, the Ravens. It was the first game of the season they played, right?
I think it was, yeah.
And the Ravens' offense has fallen into place because they had a brand new coordinator. It was his first game.
That's true.
And now they didn't start humming until the end of the season.
That's true.
They became the front runners like week 11, and we started putting some spec on their name. So,
and the Ravens' defense also improved as the year went on too. And I think the rest
healthy.
I think the rest part. I think the defense is probably the whole 3 weeks. Are they going to be rusty or are they going to be rested? For me, the defense is the part that I think is going to benefit the Ravens the most regarding rest. That is a vicious crew, and I think they're about to give C.J. Stroud the biggest test of his entire football career. I think personally.
Yeah, but they playing with house money.
But they're also playing against my man, former Bulldog Roquan Smith. So, and he's getting ready to take your money. Give me all.
I'm just saying, they've already overachieved.
Yeah,
they win this game. It's just more.
I'm saying
icing.
he's going to break into their house and he's going to steal their house money. He's like, I'm taking this.
It's mine.
I ain't leaving here with nothing. I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something. Right? That's Roquan Smith.
Yeah,
He's
man.
like, I'm leaving here with something.
I'm leaving it with something.
In the Packers 49ers game, I think I already know the answer to this question, but it has to be stated that Jordan Love just absolutely embarrassed one of the best defenses in the NFL when they played the Cowboys last week. The Packers defense also managed to kind of choke out the Cowboys for at least a half of football.
Schif, don't do this to yourself, man.
Is Kyle Shanahan ready for this? I guess is really the question.
I should ask you. Kyle Shanahan, also known as possible drug dealer, is going to be ready, man. He's had
unconfirmed.
He's had 2 weeks to prepare. Well, he had a week, but he's probably prepared 2 game plans anyway. You know they're going to be ready. And the Packers, they're going to have – I feel like this game might get away from the Packers. I don't think it's just roster-wise, the mid-season trade, they did it again. First, the mid-season trade to get McCaffrey made them look like they're going to win it all, and then Purdy got hurt last year. Then they do a mid-season trade and get Chase and reunite him with Bosa, and it's changed them.
Maybe it just feels like it's been a while since I've seen the 49ers, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, there's going to be a reminder. The Packers going to get the reminder too, like, oh shit, this ain't Dallas. The only thing is, Shanahan just got to stay out of his own way, man. I can see him trying to pad some stats and fuck around and find out. Stick to the run. You know, he acts like he's playing franchise mode, where he's like trying to make the Pro Bowl with his quarterback or whatever. Just play the game, man. Play to your strengths. Get some sweeps and end arounds and screens, and set your guys up. The Yak brothers got to do what they do.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be. They're gonna be hitting from all angles, man. We're gonna see them attacking points of the field. That's kind of what they do, man. And then McCaffrey gonna be, and then changing the changeup of Elijah Mitchell. It's gonna be tough, man, on the Packers.
Both the Ravens and the 49ers are favored by 9.5 in this game.
Yeah, both games might get out of hand. I think the Ravens could anaconda that shit, like squeeze, and then at the end Texans run out of gas, and they're just like, they're the better team. You know what I'm saying? Where they're not even like, man, we got screwed. It's like, shit, we played a better team. Yeah. You got a question about the next game, the Bucks and Lions?
Bucks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, obviously playing pretty free, pretty loose.
Yeah.
Playing without house money.
Yeah.
I feel like you could say that about the Lions last week too, but after winning a playoff game for the first time in 3 decades, you get another playoff game at home. Are the Lions going to crumble under pressure?
Well, I don't know, man.
I've got controlled fury. I'm ready to go.
It feels like they're gonna be all right, man. I think the Bucks defense has been shortchanged, and they might make it. They're gonna keep it closer than people expect. I think we always fall in love with these offenses, and Ben Johnson is one of the hottest names out there for these coaching positions and stuff. But defense is playoff football still, and the Bucks got a good defense, and the Lions don't.
I think the advantage that the Lions have is that they got to sit there and watch what the Buccaneers did to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh yeah, don't sleep. Yeah.
They basically just blitzed the shit out of them on every play.
That used to be the recipe for Goff.
Right, which gives Ben Johnson all week to figure out a plan for how do we deal with the blitz. And in my opinion, I think the Lions have the perfect personnel. They have the perfect players to deal with the blitz because you have Goff, who's a very, tall glass of milk. You can see over the line. And you have Jahmyr Gibbs, who is a great catching running back. You send him on the screen routes, so these little dump off, little check downs, all that kind of stuff. I think the Lions can overcome the blitz happy Buccaneers. I really do.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I think the Lions will overcome it. I'm not saying the Bucks are going to win. I'm just saying that it's going to be a challenge, and as you said, they're playing with house money too. So
I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions just win by a field goal.
Right, exactly.
A last-second field goal.
It might come down to that, where it's just better roster pulls out in the end. So it's really the race towards second place because nobody's going to beat the 49ers. I just feel like that nobody's going to beat these guys.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Kyle Shanahan.
Every time you doubt Kyle Shanahan, I'm going to hit the Price is Right music.
Kyle Shanahan might be distracted. He realizes he may or may not have just given Jim Irsay an overdose. So he's probably he's a little distracted. He's like, shit, is Jim still alive? Like, what did I do?
Listen, you sound like me last week when I didn't want to give any props to Josh Allen.
Yeah, he played okay.
He was all right. He stayed out of his own way.
Exactly.
He didn't lose the game for them.
Right. Let's see. Next up, Chiefs versus Bills.
Yeah.
Chiefs have owned the Bills in the postseason historically, but this is the first time that Mahomes will play this game in Buffalo. Plus, as far as I know,
they haven't had home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs.
Exactly. It's the first time that Mahomes has ever played a road playoff game in his whole career, as far as I'm aware.
Besides Super Bowls, that's wild.
Right. But everybody plays somewhere weird for the Super Bowl.
No, except for Tom Brady got to play at home with Tampa Super Bowl.
That's true.
Who else was it? Was it the Lions?
Stafford. It happened 2 years in a row.
Not Lions, Rams, yeah.
Yeah, Rams. Happened 2 years in a row. Do you think this matters? The home field advantage for Buffalo? Do you think it matters?
Nah, man. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. No, I mean, I guess it's in Buffalo, so it could be shitty weather, but we just saw them playing shitty weather in Kansas City. It's not going to be shittier than that.
Apparently, they are going to get shitty weather, but I think, fortunately, they're forecasted for snow like Thursday, Friday, but then by the time the game hits, like they're going to have more time to deal with the snow, basically.
Yeah, it's not. I think Kansas City knows how to play in that. They're not going to be rattled by that, but they might be rattled by crazy Bills fans. You know what I mean?
Throwing snowballs at him and stuff.
Yeah. And not getting any repercussions.
I'm a little the Bills are starting to have the same problem that your Dolphins had. They're some of the injuries on defense are starting to pile up.
Yep.
I can say that before this game even starts, you just cannot help but get this feeling that somehow the Chiefs are going to figure out a way to get themselves back into the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I just have this weird, sneaky feeling that they're going to do it.
Yeah, same. Ravens might be too talented for them, but I feel like a full strength Buffalo would have beat the Chiefs. I think.
Agreed.
Kind of handily, but
agreed.
Players kept going. Even in the Dolphins game, players just kept going down. And then last week, I mean, it was bad.
I agree. I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be good to see.
Yeah, I do feel like the Bills have a good defense. Chiefs have an amazing defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Bills defense, they can. I mean, the Chiefs offense is lacking a bit this year, so that kind of evens it out. But they're starting to figure out what they are. Andy Reid is Andy Reid, man. It might come down to just attrition, and the Bills just unfortunate because I know it's a rival team, but you kind of root for that fan base, man. They're the best fans in the NFL.
Also, I would say that as impressed as I was with the Bills' victory over the Steelers last week, the Steelers couldn't tackle anyone. And the defense that the Bills are going to have to face this weekend is going to be a much bigger test than what they faced last week.
Yep.
So it's going to be a tougher mountain to climb for them, I think.
And is this a whole been there before thing too?
Yeah.
They're just gonna Spagano, man, jeez. He's been coordinating his ass off all year. So.
I mean, the one benefit that the Chiefs, or rather that the Bills have, is, and this has been talked about quite a bit over the last week or so, which is that the Bills have been playing elimination football since like week 14 of the season.
You said, whose advantage is that?
The Bills. Like back in week 14, they had like a 5% chance of making the playoffs. They couldn't afford to lose any games. So they have been treating every game since week 14 as if it was an elimination game.
That's one way. You can look at that as an advantage, but you can also look at it as a disadvantage where they're drained.
Sure.
They're drained from doing that. It's like this intensity that I've been putting in every week. There's only so much that we can have.
I feel like the history of this rivalry puts them in a situation where all bets are off because I think you're going to go. It's one thing to say, like, we got to play for our lives over here when we're playing against the Steelers or when we're playing against, whoever else they played in the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season. Mm-hmm. But this is the team that always breaks your heart in the playoffs. Yeah. You got to think that that's in their heads.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a big challenge. In a way, I kind of root for them because it's like I feel bad for the Bills. Ultimately, I don't really care, but yeah.
I mean, it's going to be, if they win, it won't be as I'd be happy for the fans. If they lose, I'd be ecstatic for myself.
Buffalo is favored by 3 points in this game.
Yeah, man. Jump on it. Jump on it. That's an easy +3 to grab, man. So do we
let's do it.
We make our picks?
All right.
You're flipping the coin.
You're flipping. I'm flipping. You're calling.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah, man. Tails never fails. Tails!
Tails it is.
Oh, look at me, man. Your boy. Well, before I get started, one last question. How was me winning that coin toss and you losing that coin toss? I'm just playing. Kyle Shanahan's fault.
I think, in all honesty, I think Kyle Shanahan has like these kind of supernatural wizard like powers. He knows how I feel about him. He ruined my life in the Super Bowl, whatever year that was, and he has continued to cast a dark cloud over my entire existence. And a few times I've managed to succeed in life despite this curse that Kyle Shanahan has put on me. But most of the time it's nothing but disappointment.
And that carries on to this coin flip.
And and this coin toss, the coin toss is just like such a great example of how petty Kyle Shanahan is. He's like, you know what? I'm not even going to let Schif have this coin toss. Fuck that guy.
Okay.
So there you go. I'm always going to have an answer to that question.
I see. I'm impressed. I'm trying to figure out which. It feels like both of the games, like whoever goes first, it's still going to be a tough one for no matter who. So I'm going to go ahead and go second and let you go first.
Okay. Good. I'm glad you said that. I'm obviously going to take the Baltimore Ravens in the first game. I'm really impressed with the Texans. They're so much further ahead than we could have ever imagined this year. Future is bright. I think they win this division next year. They would be my early pick to win this division next year, playing like this. And they get Tank Dell back, all that kind of stuff. But this is where the fairy tale ends, I think. I'm going Ravens.
Yeah.
My man, former Bulldog, Todd Monken, he's too smart. He's not going to get beat by these Texans.
Okay. I'm going to pick the 49ers to beat the Packers. I think it'll just be too much. They got the best roster. They've had the best roster all year. They added Chase to have even more pass rush. And I think they're going to trick our boy Jordan Love into making some mistakes.
I'm obviously putting an asterisk on that.
You think the Packers are going to win?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. The hate continues.
I'm going asterisk.
Okay.
It costs me nothing.
It means nothing.
It costs me nothing, but it means everything.
I told you so.
It costs me nothing, but it means everything. That's the beauty of the asterisk. It costs you nothing, but it means everything.
I'm so shocked. I don't know what to do. What you got in this Bucks-Lions game? This is the one I wanted to stay away from, man.
This is the one that I truly could see an upset taking place in.
Yeah.
That being said, I think, and I hope I'm not making a mistake here, but I really do feel like it feels like the Lions are like that team of destiny.
Yeah.
So after the Packers upset the 49ers, I just feel like the Lions' path to the Super Bowl just becomes so clear to me. Yeah, I think the Lions are going to beat the Buccaneers.
Okay. This was the other one that I was like, oh, Chiefs, Bills, I don't know, man. A healthy Bills team wins this, but the Bills just aren't a healthy team anymore, man. Every game they're losing major players. Kudos to them for getting this far. It'll be cool if they win for their fans, but I got to go with the Chiefs figuring it out. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Chuck Pagano. I just feel like they're going to figure it out. So I got to go with the Chiefs. In a low-scoring, knockdown, drag-out, possibly classic playoff game. They'll never get more classic than their 13-second thing.
I don't know how you top that.
You can't top that. You need some type of a fan running on the field to intercept the ball. some wild shit like that. Or Andy Reid comes out and plays quarterback, emergency quarterback.
Yeah. Or like a 99-yard pick six with 1 second left on the clock or something crazy.
Or extra point that was going to win the game, blocked, run back, for 2 points.
Right.
Or the extra point is going to tie the game.
Easy.
Something like that.
Easy. Just
Simple.
do that,
Just do that.
guys.
Just do that. That's it.
I'm excited.
I got one question for you, man.
Yeah, tell me. Ask me.
Maybe this could go in bold predictions. Because I know we didn't prepare superlatives, but I want to do a bold prediction. Just throw it out there.
Do it.
And those people that can bet on, I don't even know if this is a prop you can bet on. Dan Campbell's going for a 4th down 5 times. It's going to be a 4th down 2-point conversion combo. That could probably win some people some money, man. I think we're going to have some. Dan Gamble is going to be all out there, man. I'm surprised nobody's come up with that nickname yet in the national media. But you got to call this guy. You got Riverboat Ron. They say that about him before the tumor and he started getting conservative. But Riverboat Ron used to be out here gambling like crazy. Dan Gamble, he's that guy, man. Fake punt. He's going to do what's it called? A hat trick. Fake punt. Going for it on 4th down and 2-point conversion. Yeah. That's the hat trick, the Dan Gamble hat trick. Look out for that, y'all.
And he'll throw the 2-point conversion to a lineman.
Oh, yes. Yes, just to stick it to the
Just to fuck with him.
Yeah. I think the obvious sexiest matchup is going to be Bills Chiefs, is what I would say. I don't think it gets sexier than that. And my upset would be Bucks over Lions. And you heard my bold prediction. What you got for those superlatives to throw them out?
I think a sneaky, sexiest matchup could be Lions Bucks. You know, you got like Deep South versus True North. You know,
yeah.
Town versus country, trailer park versus city.
I think that's going to be a good game. That's going to be an old school playoff game. It's two coaches that are old school, and Todd Bowles and Dan Campbell, in the way that they look at football.
I think that one's got some sneaky, sexy vibes to it for sure.
That's like when you the hot fat chick. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, this isn't traditionally hot, but this is hot.
Yeah. Oh, the Lions are the team that I would most want to fuck for sure.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah, and the Bucks are, hey man, hot fat chicks. They're out there. This game is a hot fat chick.
Hey, the Bucks. It's late.
I'm talking about not even drink. Not even drink. Just a hot fat. Just a hot.
I've had a couple of drinks. We're vibing. You know.
She got that Lizzo energy.
Yeah.
Confident Lizzo Monique energy. Melissa McCarthy.
She's like it's
just
bad,
sexy big girl.
It's bad bitch o'clock. It's thick 30, baby. Let's go.
Thick 30. Bad bitch o'clock. Let's go.
I'm hip. I listen to Lizzo.
That's this game, man. Have you seen that clip with her at the game? And at a basketball game? She's from Minnesota. She's lusting after a Minnesota Timberwolves player. And they're like interviewing her. And she's just like, basically, you got to watch that, man. She's like talking to the lady who's like, I can't believe you're at the game. And she's like, I want him. And she starts singing a song about how she wants to fuck this NBA player. It's great. That's what this game has. Lizzo sideline energy.
That's funny.
Do you have a bold prediction?
Yeah. I think my bold prediction is that I guess it's my bold prediction and my biggest upset. I think the Packers are going to embarrass the 49ers.
Embarrass the 49ers? Yeah, a victory is an embarrassment for them.
Exactly.
To be the number 1 seed and come in and just lose that divisional game, yeah. Okay. Do you have a team that the Lions, I guess they're the team you want to see win it all?
I would say so, yeah. I'd be I'd be really happy with the Ravens too. I would love to see. I was going to say
that's the team. A Lions-Ravens Super Bowl would be fun, but I'd love to see the Ravens pull it off. But it'd be even sweeter for you if the Ravens beat the 49ers.
Oh my God!
Whoa! I see it. Skip, get it out of the screen, man.
His thing was hard.
Kermit. Did you watch any of those Kermit the Frog?
I did. That was funny.
The way he just kind of like, you can see his hand on it too with the cucumber or zucchini.
He's trying to like push it down.
Just reveal it and then put it back down. So funny. Kermit flashing.
Funny. Yeah.
Kermit the Flasher. All right. That's it, man. This was another fun episode. Sorry if it sounds gloom and doom because the season's almost over, but it is what it is, man. We're glad y'all listen. We're glad to do this. Cool hanging out with you, Skip, as always. Thank y'all for checking out this episode of SveNFL. If your teams are still in it, good luck. And we'll catch y'all to talk about the results of this game very soon. It's been Jonathan Rollins.
Skif Misara.
With SveNFL. Peace.
Later, y'all.